Welcome to today's session with regards to GreatSoft Payroll CRM Integration webinar. Would like to thank you all for joining the session. It's one of the first sessions that Payroll is introducing to the world, and we kind of excited about the venture. This will be one of the first ones that we are doing and planning a whole bunch of ones coming next year, early soon. Can I just get an indication if the sound quality is good and everybody can hear me? All good? Thank you. Right, a little bit about myself. My name is Pierre Scheepers. I'm the GreatSoft Payroll Product Manager. I started my career back in 2001 in the world of payroll. I've been with it ever since. People say that I've got one of my strengths or good points is ability to remain calm in stressful situations. My knowledge with regards to the payroll and the HR industry is quite huge due to working with clients on a day-to-day basis. I regularly do enjoy a game of golf, even though I don't play as much as one would like to. And then I'm a big Lion supporter, and I've been living in Cape Town in 2006. So it's a pro and a con in the same breath. And I like to have a Saturday braai discussing either a game or socializing with friends on these subjects when it's not payroll on the menu to discuss. Right, on the agenda today, the quick introduction that will be done. Then we can talk briefly about employee integration, payroll to CRM, and looking at why something like this is a need. Why do companies want to integrate employees from a payroll system into a CRM system? Second thing we will be discussing and showing and telling is leave integration, also again from payroll to CRM. And then the last matter will be document storage, showing you the payroll system's document storage facility and what the uses of this will be. Now, before we start, the webinar will be recorded and shared with all participants. All questions will be answered during a Q&A session. Now, for that specifically, I've asked two of my colleagues, both experts in the field of CRM and payroll, to assist me with the Q&A session. So please feel free, if you've got any questions to ask, there is a Q&A option on the session that you can post your questions into. My two colleagues, Luke Groom from Payroll and Lee Williams from CRM, will be able to assist in answering your questions. There will also be a brief Q&A session at the end, and where some of the questions asked may be discussed in a little bit more detail. Alternatively, the questions that is asked will also be answered throughout the course of today. We will get back to everybody on this. Then there's two polls planned for today, and one survey we would love to have you to complete as well at the end. We would appreciate you answering all three of these, as the feedback is definitely invaluable to us. And if there's any general support queries, please contact payroll support at greatsoft.co.za. And for any account specific related queries, you can contact your account manager at info@greatsoft.co.za. Right, let's start off with the webinar. Payroll CRM integration and employee integration. Why employee integration? In any company, the process of onboarding an employee starts with HR. Candidates undergo recruitment process, and when a successful candidate is selected, it is the task of HR to compile a selection of documents and personal info so that the employee can be captured correctly. So the first place a new employee gets created or added onto a system starts off in the payroll environment. We all know what the consequences will be if this is not done and done correctly. So HR compiles a list of documents, either from the company side or from the employee side, getting the employee CV, getting the employment contract, getting the information from the company, what department, what structure the person will be employed to. And based on all of that info, they will onboard the employee as a new employee. We all know that the HR department is also not the department that one messes with. When HR asks for stuff, they do it and they do it thoroughly. And the main reasons is that the end result of HR has an impact on statutory bodies. I mean, any of the day, one has to declare your tax certificates to SARS. They have to declare certain information on a monthly basis to UIF. So the information that HR compiles is always accurate and correct. It eliminates human error. We all know what the frustrations are with working with other departments. Imagine HR that's completed the process of onboarding an employee, and then they either email or put the relevant documents in folders or send it via the T-lady to another department to capture. And somewhere along the line, something does get lost, misplaced, mismanaged. And the resulting factor will then be, we've got to go back to HR and having to deal with HR to supply us with the relevant documents again. Then, saving on operational costs. Why do the same work twice? Why capture an employee on one system and then capture an employee on another system? With today's systems and capabilities, why should you maintain two systems to perform the same job? Data integrity. HR captures the data, and because of the HR that performs the function, we know that the data will be accurate, consistent, and complete. In short, once an employee has been added to the payroll system, trusted data will then be submitted to CRM. The process is immediate, accurate, and controlled by a collection of processes and rules and standards during the design phase. So, getting off about why employee integration, let's go and have a look at how this is done. Now, in order to perform this, I'm going to log into our GreatSoft Payroll, and I'm going to use a company called our GS Demo company for the demonstration. This is your landing page once you've landed on payroll. Now, starting with an employee onboarding process, one can simply click on the employee take on, and this will guide you to an easy 5-step process to capture an employee. There is some smart technology built inside here. For example, the system's capabilities are you can validate ID numbers. Have you already loaded this employee? Stop you right there so that you can't have the same employee sitting on the payroll system twice. For example, step 1. Employee citizenship, South African, you do have other options. When you type in an ID number, now I'm just going to show you what the validation is. Once I put in an ID number, the system will start the validation process, and it tells you this ID number is already sitting on the system. This then indicates that you have already loaded this employee. If another ID number is added, the system doesn't recognize yet, it will start to upload the employee. Coming to the employee number, loading an employee with an employee number already exists. Again, the system will inform you right there and then, you've already captured this ID number. You cannot continue to do or to capture this employee. So just taking it out. Employee ID number does not exist. Capture the name, second name, third name, going over to the third name. You can have an option to type in a passport number, tax number, and then the date of birth will be automated from your employee ID number. You also have the option to add an employee picture if there is a picture option for the employee. Right there again, we can see very nicely done. Additional details. Now again, on many of the screens here, the system will automatically complete some of the information for you. As a sample, your gender will compute it as male. You do have other options, but according to the ID number, this employee is identified as a male. Select the marital status of the employee, nationality. If it's not South Africa, you do have other options. You do have an option for the language of the employee, and again, your nature of person will be completed because of the ID number that was entered previously. If there's an ID number that you did not complete, the system will default to a B with the option without an ID number, etc. Put in your selected ethnicity group and continue to next. Step 2, questions about the employee's residential details. Residential unit number, complex name if needed. Alternatively, you can put in if the employee doesn't stay in the complex, you can skip directly to the residential street address. Complete the employee street name as provided. Then also a little bit of smart logic built inside here. So completing the suburb, the system will only display you the centurion different addresses, South Africa, and it completes for you in the city that the suburb is found in. Then if your postal address is same as residential, simply click on it, the system will then copy it over. Contact details. You can supply the employee with a home number, cell phone number, work number, a default email address, and also a work address. You will notice that some of the options that is selected on site here is flagged with a red star. The red star means this is a compulsory field and has to be completed. Looking at step 3, company. Our system, the GreatSoft payroll system, is multi-tenanted. That means you can have more than one company added to the system. And based on your user access, you will have access to either one company, 2 companies, or if you are the payroll administrator, you will have access to all of the companies. Now, also, by the company selection made, the system will then display you the various options that's applicable for that company only. For example, selecting company Namibia, my payroll options are only monthly staff. If I do change my option to the South African demo company, my options will change, and I've got options between fortnightly employees, executives, hourly, monthly, weeklies. If you've got more, the system will then be able to provide you with more. Now, this is also the part of the screen where the integration setup has been done prior. With the company setup of RSA, part of the setup will be your structures. Company, first of all. Company is the similar thing as an office in CRM. Your structures on payroll is the equivalent of a service line, and it's mapped to your service lines in CRM. A department is then mapped to a sub-service line in CRM. So for the new employee that I'm going to add, I'm going to select that the person is going to fall in the structure called accounting. The person will be in the Department of Accounting Year 1. Then it goes back to payroll, position. Now the position is the job occupation for the employee. If there's an available position previously created for the employee, you will have it in this drop-down list and you can simply select it. If it doesn't exist, you can create a new position for this employee to occupy. Successfully added, and it's inside there. Then a cluster. Clusters are used in the payroll environment only, and a cluster is similar to a group of staff performing the same function. So for my new employee, I'm going to match it on payroll into the cluster called accounting training. Then date of engagement. My current payroll is sitting in the month of October, so I'm making this employee date of engagement the 1st of October. Grade is also reserved for payroll, and a grade is your grading structures for salary increases, etc. Then employee type. Is the employee a 5-day worker, 6-day worker? If your company have different options inside here, you can simply make the selection. Then click on next. How do you pay this employee? Will it be cash, check, EFT? If you select EFT, the system is going to force you to select an account code, enter an account number for the employee, enter a branch code, and the system is smart enough again to figure out what bank this employee will bank with. Then we get to the last page, which is your confirmation page. The system will perform a validation on the employee. If it passes, in other words, the system is happy that this employee can be loaded because of X, Y, and Z, the system will tell you this passed validation. Now, companies that are set up to integrate into CRM will have the option to either sync this employee or not to sync this employee. It does happen when a person needs to be added to the payroll, but that same individual does not need to be loaded as an employee on CRM. You can simply switch it to off. In the case where it has to be done, leave it as on and finalize the employee. The system will now start adding the employee onto the payroll, and you will get a confirmation screen that it either failed or it passed. Just let it do its thing for a few seconds. Right, employee was successfully loaded into payroll. The employee was also successfully added into CRM. A quick view on the take-home reports, something that you can print and maybe file. Just want to open this up in PDF. And you've got all the details that you've loaded the employee number, the first name, second name, any third names. All greens with ticks is completed fields, all reds that's got circles around them are incompleted fields that's not yet done. Nice report to quickly go back at a later time for in case you've missed a couple of items and you still need to go and complete them. For example, the employee cell phone number, a family phone number, an email address that still needs to be recorded, etc. And there's also an option to give this to the employee to sign off, and that you can file at a later stage. Right, then just to show you on the CRM side, this impact on this is immediate. By searching for an employee, let's refresh the screen, and there we go. Employee has been successfully recorded. Now, once the employee is captured onto the CRM site, whoever is the responsible person for the allocation of certain work functions, etc., on this specific individual, can now start and complete those tasks. For example, you will notice that the employee is loaded, the monthly standard hours has been captured, but any other information with regards to user-defined fields, personal list approval, security, etc. This is seen as a separate incident or a separate maintenance type of process to complete. So HR can continue to run the HR things, and whoever's in charge now of allocating Jan Scheepers with the correct permissions, etc., can now continue to do so. Great, thanks. That's employee integration, pushing an employee from payroll directly into CRM. There is going to be a short poll running now for the next couple of seconds. Let's make it 15 seconds. And in this poll, we would just like to find out from yourselves what industry information, what is the industry that you guys are finding yourselves in. I'll give around about 15, let's give 15 seconds for this, and then we can continue with the webinar. Right, thank you for that. Payroll CRM Leave integration, I think this is one of the biggest ones that is currently running around there, is pushing leave applications into a CRM site. Now, let's get the slideshow going. There we go, benefits of a leave management system. So I'm going to start this thing off just by talking a little bit about a leave management system. I'm not sure if you guys are currently using one, what are you using Excel, are you using another payroll system for this? But Payroll CRM Leave Management, and we can have a quick look at how GreatSoft Payroll integrates with the CRM system itself. Now, first of all, leave management is a dreaded task of every HR manager. HR has already a lot on their plates, and then to add it on top of this leave, there's just so many statutory rules governing leave, plus on top of that, company policy, and it is time consuming, and one of the main reasons why businesses are implementing an automated leave management system. Now, apart from that, some of the other benefits that is associated with this is it allows organizations to function more effectively. Managers are notified when people are leaving, and this then directly translates to better work planning and labor orchestration. Cutting costs. Some of the interesting facts that I've been reading and following on is, according to the American Payroll Association, an estimate of fraudulent time clock usage annually costs businesses between 1.5% to 5% of your gross payroll. A recent study revealed that employees at companies that manually track time of accruals are taking an average of 1.25 days unearned annually. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but if you spread that between 17 employees, it equates to productivity loss of 1 employee for a full month. Controlled environment for leave applications. Now, with a good leave management system, leave can only be submitted if the application complies with either the basic employment or if the employee has a rule that governs the application. For example, if you want to apply for sick leave for 2 days and a company policy is you must apply a sick note, the applicant can only do the application if he attaches a sick note. Speaking about company policy, a great system should not only be limited to the BCA, but also should be configurable. Think about stuff such as you get 1 additional day after a year of service, or after 5 years of service, you get 5 extra days. That shouldn't be a manual process. That's something that should be managed by a system. Workflow approval, my leave is an application and it's dependent on a management approval. Eliminate paperwork. Now, we've spoken about this so many times and the word always pops up, go green. We know what it is. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much. Then the important section, seamless integration. Leave should not be recorded on 2 separate platforms. You have to, once it's been approved. So why not spread the word, or in this case, update other systems accordingly? Integration is a brilliant thing when it comes to this. Right, again, I'm just going to access the GreatSoft Payroll system. Sorry. There we go. So I'm just going to close this. And what I am going to do is I'm just going to find an employee that I can use to process leave on. So looking at this employee as a sample. This is the payroll leave management system and also the place where an applicant will apply for leave. You will notice that you've got your annual leave, family leave, maternity leave, overtime and leave of leave, paternity leave, and the list continues. Now, if your company has more than just the standard, the system is very capable of adding more to this. The employee, in short, has an entitlement of 20 days, which is governed by the rule of the company. After 5 years of service, you get an additional 5 days. If I look, for example, at a director, and I can maybe show that to you later, the entitlement is different, sitting on 13 days. Directors are due 30 days. A quick breakdown and a view is applying to the employee. So the employee, if he applies to leave, can quickly have a quick view to see how many days has he already used. How many future days has he already applied for? Are there any unapproved leave days? So I've applied for it, but my manager hasn't approved them yet. Am I going to forfeit any days? Yes, I'm going to forfeit 19 days at a specific time. My rule will start on a certain date, my cycle end dates, etc., etc. And this applies to, the screen will adjust to every screen that you click on. Right, first thing I want to do is I'm going to do a new leave application. And my leave will be applied for the 23rd of November up until the 27th of November. So just to show you a quick way to capture to the 27th. And as an employee, we'll click on it, it will be applied, and it's going to go into a pending status. Whoever is this person's manager will receive an email to say, Pierre has made an application, you need to go and approve it. Now, managers of payroll has got access to a leave management screen. I'm just going to default this back into the previous month. And I want to look for all applications currently sitting in an applied for status. And right there and then I can see who is the employee. He's applied for leave from a day to a day. There's an option to directly approve it. I can decline it. I can view the actual application. And if required, and there was an attachment on it, I can click on it and the system will open the attachment for me. Now, just accessing the CRM system. And I'm going to want to show you that's how quickly this will filter through. So all employees, I just want to access the specific employee called Pierre. There we go. Right, Pierre currently has got no timesheet available. When the manager approves the application, are you sure you want to approve this application? Just ask you, you get the approved option, successfully approved, and I can hit the refresh filter for the effect to apply. Just going back to the employee, so I'm going to refresh the application. Going back, and I can see on the employee and the manager can see directly on the employee that an annual leave day has been approved. There's various statuses, just those shortcuts. For example, if this was in a pending status, the system would have displayed you still pending. Now, some of the interesting things that you can also see via a manager or as a manager is to open up the actual application and using some of the system tools that's been assigned to you. The one that is used frequently is the history of this employee, and you will notice that the leave application has been made from the 11th to from the 23rd to the 27th of November. And as a manager, I can either approve, decline, provisionally approve it, and it's been done. That was bound to happen. Nothing goes smoothly from day one. There we go. I'm just going to capture another application on behalf of the employee. From the 30th to the 4th. And I'm going to approve this directly. Right, there we go. And if I open up the application, from a management point of view, you will have the leave application of 5 days. As the application status has been approved, and there was an issue with unable to sync the approved application over it into CRM system. Now, one of the things that the system has been built with is also to troubleshoot applications as such. So if an application has been made, you can see that there was an issue. For example, the failure, the system could not allocate the employee salary code in CRM. Quick and easy to troubleshoot is, and this is how the two systems do talk to each other. The salary code has to be present. If there's no salary code captured onto the employee, the two systems cannot communicate. In other words, the payroll system will not know who's the employee on the other side. Right, there we go. These applications can be pushed through to the employee again, but in order for our session, I just want to select the employee. Sorry about that. Just pick. There we go. New application. Select the date from the 1st to the 4th. And directly approve. And once that has been done, again, under the history of the information, notice it was successfully synced through the CRM system. All right, closing the applications and just looking at the individual. Sorry, need to go to the timesheet. Timesheet and expenses, all employees. That is the timesheet that was just created from the payroll system. By opening it up, you will see the 8.5 days that have been captured. And interesting, the Friday was only a 6-hour day. So the CRM system is currently set up 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, and a 6-hour day, and it has been recorded as such. Then, if it so happens that the application made for those days, the Wednesday, the Thursday, the Friday, was incorrectly made and it has to be cancelled, one can simply open up the application as a manager and you can decline it. Once you've declined it and you update, going into the CRM system, and I just want to refresh my screen or my session, the hours have been made 0 again. So the two systems will talk to each other directly. In the case of the payroll coming to the CRM, leave applications can only be managed and administered via payroll. Questions that could ask or arise is, I did show you previously the error management screen. This one over here. If you do try to post to a timesheet that's already been completed, you will receive a failure for a timesheet for this entry has already been processed and it cannot update. A quick way to reconcile this. So what employee on payroll applied for leave on this day, but why is that timesheet already closed? Is there already something that was captured? Should we go and rectify? So it gives you an overall view and a manageable environment of where leave is captured, and it can only be done in a controlled environment, and then successful applications being submitted through to payroll. Great. We are going to run another poll for now. Can I give round about, let's take it 30 seconds to complete the poll. And I would like to know from you guys, how long does it take to reconcile leave on a monthly basis? I don't reconcile 1 to 5 hours, 5 to 10 hours, 10 to 20 hours, longer. Thank you. Right. I don't reconcile. Most of the votes went to I don't reconcile. 1 to 5 hours, second in place. Then 5 to 10, 10 to 20, and longer. Great. Right. That completes this 2 polls for the day. Then we're moving over into GreatSoft Payroll and document storage. Now, what are the benefits of document storage? Again, I just want to elaborate or just to highlight. Before we start looking at the document storage, we first need to understand that there's a big difference between document storage and document management. Document management is used to track and manage documents that are currently in process. More specifically, it's used to manage the overall process of documents from creation to inception and from inception through to completion. Document storage, on the other hand, is storing a complete document in a repository that allows authorized users to find it and access it with the information it contains. So how does payroll users benefit from a document storage system? Well, the job comes with a lot of paperwork. We did spoke about this previously. HR that compiles a lot of paperwork, and each employee, whether you are part of the furniture, relatively new or recently promoted, the job that you were employed in or employed for, or better known as your job description, was given to you with a clear idea of the necessities of the job. A copy of this should be handed to the employee, and we all can assume that the employee will treasure and keep this document safe. I mean, it should be a quick reference to go back to find out what you have to do. But we're all guilty of this. Just think about, where's yours? Cloud-based. Now, documents that are electronically stored in the cloud can be accessed from anywhere. It's safe, secure, and easy to find. Again, the word paper-free pops up. Go green. That's not going to elaborate too much on that part. Company policy and awareness. How often do you get to ask by your staff, what is the company policy with regards to study leave? Or the employee handbook. I'm not sure what I must do, how those things will work. What is the company dress code? What's operating hours? Overtime. How do I qualify for overtime? Code of confidentiality, code of conduct. Those are all the type of things that employees are able to ask from an employer, and 99% of the times, without a proper document storage or a document management system in place, you have to go in drawers, look for paperwork that was filed 6, 7, 8 years ago, and well, it's not always that easy to find. Last on this list is easy to access. Now again, I'm just going to do a short demo on the payroll to show you how the document storage system is working on here. Remember the new employee that we've just employed during the take-on stage. I'm just going to open up the employee. Now, if that employee is also a user on the payroll system, he will have access to himself. So logging in, employee will have access to himself. Depending on the access that you will grant your staff, the employee will see certain options on his profile. Now, in payroll, we've kind of identified 3 main folders that companies will utilize between company and employee. They are classified as personal documents, company shared documents, RP5 and IT3a certificates. Now, remember the employee that joined previously? One of the first things that you will find is when he goes to his documents folder, he can click on company policy, and if it was uploaded previously, right there and then directly, he's got access to the GreatSoft employee handbook. He's got the option to download, and he's got an option to view the file directly. Sorry, this thing just opened up on the wrong page, and I don't want to do it alternatively. Right, then the other one is company DNA. Now, you, the company, can decide how the company shared documents, the contents or the subfolders of this should be like. Do you want to do company policy, company DNA? Is there maybe something more that you want to do? For example, if you want to list a list of, or display a list of emergency contact numbers for the staff members, and share it in the company share documents folder, you might want to create another subsection down here called company shared documents and upload a document inside there. Now to do this, only the person with the appropriate access will be able to create folders or subfolders for the payroll companies that you want to do it for. So how to do this? I've accessed a subfolder creation bar, and I am going to add emergency contact numbers. Then, under what main folder do you want to add your subfolder to? I want to add this to the company shared documents. And because the payroll is multi-tenanted, you can add this to all of the companies that you are doing payrolls for, or you can only do it to a specific company like the South African company that I'm currently busy showing you. Right, click on Create. It tells you that it was successfully added to the payroll. And if I go back to my employee, I can refresh the page. And company shared documents will now contain company policy, company DNA, and also a subfolder called emergency contacts. Currently, there's nothing inside here. Now, to add a document to the specific emergency contact number list, only the HR or the person who's got access to company shared documents to manage it will be able to add a document to it. Right, that's done via the add management documents. So first of all, select the company you want to upload a document into. Then select the one of the main folders to add this document into, and select the subfolder that you want to add this document into. Now, you can either click on the browse button and search for the document on a computer that you want to upload. Alternatively, one of the nice features about this whole thing is that you can copy or drag and drop files. One file selected, upload, close. And by going back to the employee, if I refresh the page, you will see now there's one emergency contact number list the employee can download, and you have shared a document successfully between the staff members. Right, then next up on the list to show, personal documents. This is the one that I think most of all HR will utilize. Now, it also depends on how you want to do this. Is it an HR employee? Is it a manager and an employee thing? So the question is, it's literally up to you how you want to administer this. Keep in mind the employee will always have access to personal documents and also have the ability to load documents inside here. For example, when you onboard a new employee, you would like to, and he's driving one of the company cars. So one of the documents you will need is the employee's driver's license or a copy of it. Perfect place to add this will be personal documents, the employee ID number, the employee CV, employment contract. All of these type of things is documents that a company or HR would like to share with their staff members. Thinking about the question asked previously, the job description that you were employed for, could you find it? But if you go to the location where you print your own payslip and you apply leave for and you perform all these functions, you will always find where your employment contract is. How to add these things? Simply click on the add button. Once again, you can drag and drop, or you can click and browse for files. You have the option to do it one by one. So this is me, the employee proof of address, or my employment contract that I want to upload. What I've done is I've taken the liberty of creating one folder with all the multiple documents relating to an employee, and I can simply drag and drop that. The system will display to you all the documents that was done. You can click on upload, and the system will give you the information that it's busy uploading your documents. Right, 4 documents uploaded, and it's stored for you nice and neatly. I'm going to do one more because I also want to show you some of the other functionality that you will have inside here in case you make a mistake. It does happen. For example, performance review. I'm going to upload the performance review and I click on upload. I didn't look what I was doing. And I've uploaded the performance review under personal documents. Now, this is something that shouldn't sit there because HR took a lot of time to create a new folder called performance review. I need to move it there. There's my performance review folder. I do have the option to edit it. And I can move it from personal to performance review, save it. And you will see now it sits there. It's being moved off from your personal documents folder. Then only the person with access, I noticed that you guys might have seen that there's a delete option here. Only HR can delete documents. Me, the employee, the manager, we don't have that functionality to delete documents. It's only the person who's got the correct access to administer the whole process that has the ability to delete a document that was previously uploaded. Right, and then the highlight of this, something that I am think this is absolutely brilliant, is the ability for companies to upload an employee's RP5, IT3a, barcoded, source created tax certificate. One of the questions that we all get in payroll and in HR is, and we get that 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, we get this question in March, in April, in May, and that's employees coming to you and asking for your tax certificate. Now, payroll systems are equipped to generate a tax certificate. Some of the tax certificates look exactly like the source generated tax certificate, but they aren't barcoded. So in reality, it's just paper with some ink on it. The one that is valid is the certificate that was generated by source. Now, what I am going to show you is a very, very nice demonstration about how easily this is done in payroll. Again, from the add manage documents, I will select the company that I want to upload documents for. I am going to select RP5 IT3a tax certificates. And I took the liberty of creating a subfolder called Tax Year 2020. Obviously, I want to be a neat person. Next year, I want to create another subfolder called 2021. 2022 and so forth, and as each year progresses, each tax certificate will be uploaded in its own subfolder. Alternatively, you don't have to do this. You can only have the one main bar or main subfolder called tax certificates. Now, we all work with payrolls, and whenever it's easy file time and the easy file submission gets done, it gets uploaded to SARS, you go and you generate your tax certificates from easy file. You've got 300 tax certificates that you have downloaded. Now, this is where the nice part or the fun part starts, is I don't really want to go and upload the certificates one by one per employee. And this is where payroll is a little bit smart. Oh, my window is coming. Oh, no. Sorry, I just need to refresh my Explorer. Seems like I've got my Windows back up and running again. So by selecting the RP5 IT3As, I've got a tally here of around about, I think it's 45 certificates, just for demo purposes. I can drag and drop all 43 of them. You will see there are 43 files that has been selected. There they are, and I can click upload. This is where the system now is starting to get very smart. Now, if the certificate output file, remember before you do the easy file process, you use the payroll system to create an export file. Now, because this GreatSoft Payroll was used to create this export file, GreatSoft Payroll knows what tax certificate number is sitting on what employee. So by me importing this in bulk, the system will know, right, that one is for a specific individual. If it finds the person on the payroll, it fixes it. It tells you this was correctly uploaded. Closing this. going to an individual that was part of that tax certificate submission. Looking at my documents folder, the tax certificate for the employee will now sit there. So now no more questions about, listen, can you please print me my tax certificate? Can you download for me? The employee has got access to this, and because it's electronically stored, electronically saved in the cloud, it remains here for life. And open this with Adobe. Come now, Adobe. No, it doesn't open from here, but look at this. There we go. So there you've got your tax certificate. The one that you've uploaded to source is now also sitting with an employee, and he's got access to this. Feature is brilliant, especially for companies that you run and do payrolls for. So if you are in that industry, you're doing tax certificates for your clients, you always need to distribute these things to your clients. This is a brilliant feature. Give the client access. The client can download these tax certificates, or the employees of the client. It's literally up to the client or up to you how you want to administer this. Right. Sorry, that's my Adobe that's not working properly, but there you go. Great, thank you. That's the document storage facility. I'm sure that there is a lot more questions on document storage. Please feel free to send emails about this. Please feel free to send emails about the payroll and the CRM integration on the employee side. We will get back to you promptly on these things. Then I'm going to take around about 5 minutes just to look at some of the questions that was asked and flagged by my colleagues, just to see if there's anything that stood out, something that's maybe we can have a quick session about. Right, it seems like my Afrikaans English was proper and there wasn't too many questions raised about this. Brilliant. Guys, thank you so much. I'm just going to go over to the last screen. Once again, please, thank you for joining today, going through the integration between the payroll and the CRM, as well as the leave integration back into CRM. Also, the document storage options that we do have in the payroll. Please, there's a survey that will appear at the closing of the webinar. We will appreciate your feedback. And if you would like to know more about GreatSoft Payroll, you can please send an email directly to myself. My details are there, pierre.scheepers@greatsoft.co.za. And we'll try and see if we can arrange some sort of a virtual cup of coffee. Thank you so much. Thanks for the survey.